Hey y'all, I'm sorry I'm late. Don't mind me. I'm running on CP time. I'm running on segregated colored people time. Colored people tend to be late. I'm going to be discussing the difference between racism and prejudice because within the black community, basically, when it comes to racism, a lot of black people have been taught that they're unable to be racist because they don't have the systemic power to be racist. They can only be prejudiced. So me and one of my followers are gonna have a conversation surrounding the differences. There she is. How you doing, melanated queen? I'm finna send you a request. Oh wait, can you please send me a request? So my hair looks great. Thank you so much. Y'all would be shocked to know I just took off my bonnet. Like I just took it off. So I'm glad my curls just. I woke up like this. We're gonna be talking about the definition of racism, y'all. I got my handy dandy dictionary here. And I'm gonna go ahead and flip to R. And we're gonna talk about it because, as previously stated, there are a lot of black people who believe that we don't hold the systemic power to be racist. We can only be prejudiced. And I push back against that. She said, how do I so how do you I got a button that says go live with Arby's curly fries. Everybody say that. Curly fries, curly fries, curly fries. I get it, okay? I get it.
Hey, hey.
Hello.
Peace,
Hello.
peace, peace.
Yes, I'm glad we finally got on here. I'm so sorry
I
that I
know.
was late. But she's been super flexible with her timing, y'all. I
Yes.
really appreciate you getting on here with me after everything. So, okay, you and I, let me just give everybody a rundown. You and I were having a back and forth in my comment section. I'm trying to remember what video specifically it was under. Do you remember which one it was? Which clip it was?
I'm not
Good. Look,
sure.
I can't even remember all these clips I posted. Oh, Jesus. It escapes me
I
right
think
now.
it was
But
about black people being racist.
right. So the overwhelming argument I made in the video, I can't remember what clip it was at
Right.
this time. In the clip, the argument I was making was basically that anybody can be racist.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pushing back against the prejudice plus power definition that a
Okay.
lot of people were taught. And then you had your point of view. Can you just express it for everybody watching?
Yes. So basically, I have my notes.
Oh,
So I
she
wanted
said she
to,
prepared. I love it.
so I wanted to break down the definitions of prejudice and racism and
Okay,
then bring it all together and explain how they correlate with each other.
please.
So if I'm looking down, that's just me reading my
Go
notes.
ahead. Go
So
ahead.
basically, I'm going to do the definition of prejudice first, and then we're going to go into racism and then so
Okay.
on. So for prejudice, I have prejudice is when you hold negative opinions of someone based on conceptions about the larger group, despite the facts that contradicts those beliefs. You
Right.
may believe all black people are inferior, but that's not the fact because all black people aren't inferior, right?
Correct.
So basically, I don't care who's prejudiced against me because that's just their opinion. That's not going to affect my day-to-day life. It's not going to affect me getting hired at a job. It's not going to affect, me living in a certain place. That's just your opinion of me, and I can care less about that. But when you talk about racism is the process by which systems, policies, actions, and attitudes create inequitable opportunities and inequitable opportunities and the outcome based on your race. So basically, racism is when prejudice becomes behavior. So
Okay.
for example, you don't like me, so you don't hire me. You don't like me, so this is going to affect where I live because you're racist towards me. When you're prejudiced, that's just an opinion of me. Anybody can be prejudiced. we do it every day and don't even know it. Us saying that, you know, these colored people don't season their food, that's prejudice. Us saying that these colored people can't dance, that's being prejudiced against them. But that's just my opinion, because it's not a fact. Because I do know, you know, some people that can season their food and can dance. That's just my personal opinion. But again, like I said, Black people cannot be racist. The term racism has to be understood within the context of anti-Blackness, in which, hold on, my husband is setting me up, so I won't have to hold my phone in my hand.
Okay.
Just 1 minute. Thank you, babe. All right. So basically, the term racism has to be understood within the context of anti-Blackness, which is how it operates and exists, and is what it is birthed out of. It has never existed out of that context. So yes, we can be prejudiced, but it doesn't hold any power to oppress nobody or a certain group of people. Anybody can be prejudiced. Mostly everybody is prejudiced, but when it comes to racism, it's different, because now you're affecting my day-to-day life. You're affecting a group of people's day-to-day life, as in discriminating against them in the workplace, or, you know, where they can live, like I spoke about in my post, as far as redlining. You know, that's why most Black people are subjected to these ghettos, because they were redlined. We weren't allowed to buy houses in certain areas, in certain communities, you know? So that's my stance on it.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on.
That definitely reflects what I was taught. I definitely was really familiar with that definition. And can I ask where you got the definition from that you were reading off for racism?
This is just, you know, I looked it up, Webster definition as well, but this is just, you know, things that I...
Oh, we lost her. We lost her. We lost her. We lost her. Mayday, mayday. Damn, I was just gonna break down my definition, right? She said she got her definition from Webster. I also have a Webster dictionary from the year 2005, where I also have the definition of racism, and it's different from hers, which is interesting. I'm like, okay, let me add her back. When did they change it? Let's get her back on here. Mayday, mayday. Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm back.
Okay, I'm like, wait a minute, we lost her.
Okay.
All right.
We're set up now. We're good. I'm hands-free.
Okay, great. Okay, so were you finishing the thought before it went off?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So you said you got your definition from Webster.
Well, not
I
only
got
Webster. Some was
from. Sorry.
It wasn't only from Webster. This is, you know, some was from Webster, some was from my own personal research that I have done. You know, I love history. This is something I've been doing for years. So, you know, a little bit of here, a little bit of there.
Right. So with me, what I've learned about racism is based on this example from this '05 version of the Webster Dictionary, where it defines racism as a belief that race is the primary determinant of human traits and capacities, and that racial differences produce an inherent superiority of a particular race. And the second definition is racial prejudice or discrimination. So with this definition, you know, it's more simplified. It doesn't have like anything regarding systems or anything like that. And so I was wondering, like, you know, when they evolved the definition, like, at what point did it evolve, and what was the reasoning behind that? And so one of my followers sent me a source, and I can send it to you after via DM, but in the source, it was an article where it was revealed that the Webster definition was changed in the year 2020 to reflect another definition that was created in the 70s by a Jewish woman whose name I don't have off the top of my head. I ain't take notes like you did, but I should have. But the Jewish woman who created the definition, yeah, she created the definition that she was referring to, where it's more involving systems. And so seeing how that definition was created in the 70s and then has been implemented from 2020 onward to now be reflected in dictionaries is interesting. And, you know, it's like, I want to know what changed.
Right. Well, I feel like with racism, regardless of the definition, it's like the proof is in the pudding. Right. Look at our situation right now. Look what's going on in the world. It's racism never went away. It never left. It never changed. It's always been here. The foundation of America is built on racism. That's what it's always been, you know? So
When you say that the foundation of America was built on racism, can you elaborate, like, what you mean?
yeah. So basically, Black people, we're here in America today because our ancestors were enslaved. Some people may agree, you know, a lot of people like to deny the middle passage. I'm not going to deny the middle passage.
Right.
You know, we were brought from, you know, our homeland, and we were brought here to be enslaved. We were never treated fairly. There has always been a system in place to keep us at the bottom. Every time Black people try to get ahead, white people set a system in place to keep us behind. First, starting with Reconstruction. That lasted only for 10 years. We had everything. You know, we had our own judges, our own mailman, we were independent. But then they seen that we were thriving without them. So what did they do? They implemented Black codes. They implemented, you know, vagrancy laws. They implemented, you know, what's the other one? Jim Crow.
Yeah.
So there has always been a system in place to where we have been oppressed. After, you know, Reconstruction, you have the Black codes, you have the vagrancy laws, you have the Civil Rights Movement, and then you have the Black Panther Party. You know, we see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, but what do? They dismantled the Black Panther Party. They literally was murdering them, you know, off the strength of being Black. They were trying to better us. And then after that, you have the crack epidemic. They put crack in the community. Every time they seen us trying to get ahead, they set a system in place to always keep us back. That is oppression. That is systemic racism. So I feel like it's always been there. And then you can even go with the mass incarceration. It just keeps going. It just keeps going, even till today. It's always been a system in place to keep us behind. Black Wall Street, you know, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Those people were minding their business. That was the first airstrike on our soil.
Right.
On American soil. It was Tulsa, Oklahoma. They bombed those people just because they were thriving. That's it. How is that not blatant racism? How is that not setting up a system to keep us behind?
Yeah.
That's just how I see it. And then people try to make it seem like, oh, racism doesn't exist anymore, when it's still prevalent today as it's always been.
Yeah, I would go as far to argue, though, that Black people today hold a lot of resentment towards white people, and they do exhibit a lot of just casual racism. And I have examples posted on my page, and that is really what I'm addressing. It's like, yeah, I understand throughout history there have been horrific things done to our people, to the ancestors that, you know, lived before us. But today, it's like, what can we do now? Are we gonna perpetually talk about things that occurred in the past and use that as leverage to do whatever we want in 2023, going on 2024, or what? It's just like, why today is it okay? One example I love to bring up is for Black people to tell white girls they cannot wear braids because of their race. Was it not fucked up when we had Jim Crow going on and they had the white colored separation going on? Wasn't that something that we fought against? So why is it not being brought back?
Honestly, with integration, I feel like our biggest mistake was integrating. I feel like as Black people, we should have been fighting for equality instead of integration. We should have remained separate but equal.
So you're for segregation?
I'm 100% for segregation. I feel like as Black people, we thrive better without white people. And why? Because they oppress us. There has always been a system in place to keep us behind. When we had our own, we were thriving. Like I said before, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, it took 6 days for Black money to leave out of the community. Now it only takes 6 hours.
Wow. Wow.
That's sad.
Yeah. It's something. Can I ask where you're from or where you live?
I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, but I live in Arizona now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you in the desert,
Arizona.
girl. Oh, God.
So that's why I'm saying racism is still very, very prevalent. I'm living it.
Right. So I was gonna ask, like, what's the racial makeup of Arizona? I don't know nothing about it.
Actually, Arizona is very, very diverse.
Okay.
You see, when I first moved here, it actually was a culture shock for me.
Really?
Because you see a lot of Black people, you see a lot of white people. There's a lot of Native Americans. There's a lot of Africans. So there's a good mixture of everybody. But you do have parts where it's still not safe for Black people to go in Arizona.
Like, what do you mean by that?
Like sundown towns.
There are sundown towns that are currently killing people in Arizona?
There are sundown towns in Arizona. There are certain parts that it is not safe for you as a Black person to drive in.
Have you recently heard of any examples of somebody getting killed?
Not killed, but they will, like an officer, if you're driving down the road, the local sheriff or whatever, they will pull you over and they will tell you, you need to be out of this town, immediately. Yes.
Oh, snap. I mean, if they get down like that, then I would love for that to happen to me. Let me be driving through Arizona at night and somebody tells me I need to be out the area because I'm Black. That nigga's losing his job. He's losing his job. I'm getting his badge number. He's getting reported. He's gonna be put on blast.
Yeah, my mom, she's been living here longer than me. And when she was working, she was catching a bus, and my mom always making a point to sit in the front because that's just who she is. And an older white man got on the bus, and he looked at her, and he said under his voice, only where she can hear it, he called her the N-word with the hard ER.
Horrible.
Because she was sitting in the front of the bus. I've had applications thrown away in my face here in Arizona. I've had people not want to put money in my hand here in Arizona.
Look, I'm gonna talk about me right quick. I'm from Chicago, right? I live on the South Side, and what you were saying earlier about, I think you were speaking on Tulsa, and you were saying like, oh, the Black-run cities, we were doing better when it was just Black people involved. On the South Side here, we're run by a Black mayor. We've had Black mayors for years, and the city, is going to crap. And it's like, why? What's going on here? I want to know personally, because I personally know a lot of people who I went to high school with who are not even alive anymore because they got killed walking down the street here by a Black person. So it's like, what's up? What's going on with that? And what role do white people play in the current behavior that's going on in Chicago? Because like I said, it's run by a Black man.
And with that, it's a fine line with that, because a lot of people like to yell Black on Black crime so much. When there is Black on Black crime, but that is what they're putting out there. If you actually do the statistics, white people kill more white people than any other race. Every race kill their own.
That's true. That is true.
But they just put Black on Black crime in the forefront. And that's not making excuses for our behaviors, because
it's out of line. It's out of line.
Very out of line.
Babies.
Very, very out of line. But you have to realize where it stems from. We have been taught to hate ourselves so bad. It has been embedded in us that we are nothing. So when you see another Black person, when a Black man see another Black man, he don't see no value. He don't see a king. He don't see his brother. He see his enemy, because we've been taught to hate ourselves. Who
taught people that? I was never taught that.
No, I'm saying inherently from the beginning, from back during slavery, and it's passed down. We carry that gene. I think it's called epigenetics, where we inherit certain things from our ancestors. We inherit that hate. We see each other. That's why we have colorism now. The light skin versus dark skin. Women,
I feel like all forms of self-hate are taught.
How much flack we get about having locks.
Yeah. I mean, but personally, when I had my lock, like I said, I started my locks when I was 8 years old. I'm about to be 24. I live in Chicago, like I stated, and I went to all black schools. I was facing the most slack from
Black people.
black kids.
Yes, because we hate ourselves.
And I'm like,
we
wait
hate
a minute,
ourselves.
whoa. Why am I feeling slender wearing natural hair? Why am I being told by black kids that I need to straighten my hair when we supposed to love our culture so much? What's going on with that?
Exactly.
Who told you that? Because my mom didn't tell me that. My mom told me that when girls perm their hair, it means they're being taught to hate it. She told me that when I was a child. So that's what I internalized. So it's like, what's your taught? It just depends on who raised you.
I agree.
And unfortunately, another thing, in this city, it's a lot of people being raised by single moms. That's a huge epidemic in the black community specifically. It's the highest in the black community. Not saying that other groups don't also have a huge issue with single motherhood.
Oh no, it was purposely set up that way. It was purposely put. They set up a system to purposely get the black man out the home. If you take the black man out the home, you dismantle the black family. That's what I'm saying. Every aspect is just to keep us down as a people.
But when it came to welfare, right? When it came to welfare, and they, we're told that, hey, if you want to get this money for your kids or whatever, you cannot have a man in the house. Them people had a choice. Do we split our family up, or do we sell your dad, damn near sell your daddy for welfare? A lot of people chose the latter. Whose decision was that to
But
make?
Why did they choose the latter? Because why? They took away.
I wouldn't.
But look, because black men were getting fired, they weren't having work. Why? Because they took away trades. They shut down the factories.
So that means sell them away?
How would you gonna have it? They wasn't getting jobs, so it's like you struggling. It's either I'm gonna get this free money,
or I'm gonna keep. So forget your kid having their daddy around.
Basically, at the time,
that's effed up. That's a poor
It is. It's either this man gonna be in the house.
Your one goal should be to make sure your kids know who both their parents are.
That is true. But at that time, it's either you gonna have this man in the house or these kids gonna eat.
You're gonna sell them. Daddy, you better go out there and beat a bucket or something. You better figure it out. But we ain't gonna get rid of you. We need our dad.
Like I said, for me, I just feel like back then it was a different time.
Yeah, so I understand that, and even it. But the fact is, all that was about 50 years ago. It's 2023 now, so we're still having the same discussion 50 years later about single mother households. Where are y'all daddies at? Y'all don't care about getting married. It's a lot of girls out there who don't care about getting married.
They don't.
As somebody who's married now, who's only been married for about 6 months, people are crazy. Like, why you get married so early? Why y'all married? Y'all ain't married. I mean, I'm probably gonna have people calling him my boyfriend for the next 10 years. That's fine, but it's like, don't question us about why we got married. We got married because we wanted to. We was ready. Exactly. Like, what's the issue? Exactly. And the fact that it's not really normalized in our community, with the girls I know in Chicago, it's not normalized to get married. It is normalized to have a baby daddy, though.
It is.
That's normalized. It is.
It is.
And I'm like, that's a huge issue. It's a lot of kids growing up without daddies, without male influences, and we wondering why they not making good decisions. They don't have a good balance.
Are we supposed to read the comments too?
It's a lot of comments.
Let's see.
We having a good talk though.
I know. Okay.
Let's go back.
Let's see.
Y'all been ready all down.
Oh, I see some of my people's in here. Hey y'all. Our ancestors were enslaved. I'm talking about slavery in America, because slavery was all over, but we're specifically talking about our enslaved ancestors that were in America.
But let's talk about that right quick, because something that clicked in my head this year that kind of changed my perception on slavery overall was the fact that I realized that I used to think we just got kidnapped. White people came, took people out their sleep and kidnapped them. When I realized that we were sold by other Africans, that's when I was like, wait a second.
Listen.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the black people that sold us.
Listen, that's what I say on my post when I said white lies. There were African kings fighting to the death for their people, not to be sold. But they don't tell.
So you don't think no African sold us?
No.
Not one.
I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that.
I understand it was people. It was also white people fighting
but
for
they
us
pushed
in the Civil War.
They pushed this rhetoric as if Africans was just like, yeah, here you go, Here you go. Come get them. Come get them. And it wasn't like that. It was either you gonna give me these people or I'm gonna kill your whole family. You finna give up these people or I'm killing your whole village. So it was like, what choice did they have? And then at the end of the day, after they did, give them up, they still enslaved the people who were selling the other enslaved people. In the end.
Look, I know it was a lot of treachery going on in Africa.
We
back
all
in the day,
ended up
right?
over here anyway.
But one huge part that cannot be skipped over is the fact that a lot of us were sold by other Africans. It would be less niggas over here if we were not sold by other Africans. That is a huge thing that is not being discussed enough for me. We talk way more about white people and what they did than we do talk about the people who sold a lot of us over here in the first place. We having this conversation if we were still over there. That's the crazy part. And so it's
I feel like yes, African, and then you have the rhetoric where some people don't believe that Africans sold Africans. They say that Africans were selling Hebrews. I don't know if you heard of that.
I haven't.
Okay, so basically, if we're going back to the Bible, when they were in the wilderness for 40 years, 70 AD, they ended up in West Africa. These are the Hebrew Israelites. So the Hebrew Israelites and the Africans, they are two manner of people, two different people. We like cousins. So they say that Africans sold Israelites into slavery.
Are Israelites black?
Yes.
So
yes.
Africans sold other black people. Black people selling other black people.
Basically.
Right. So
yes.
I understand. Look. All I'm trying to say is, let me just put a pin in this. We were sold by there were black people involved in the slavery.
There was,
and that's something that needs
involved
to also be expressed. Yes, there were also white people, but there were other races involved. So given that knowledge, it's like, why are we still having so much animosity towards white people overall when they were not the only ones involved?
They had the main role to play in it. I feel like because everybody had a role in the slave trade. The Portuguese, the Arabs, the Jewish people, they funded the slave trade. If you really want to get into it.
Yep.
The first slave ship was the good ship Jesus. If we really gonna get into it,
Okay.
So, yes, but I feel like at the end of the day, they are white people. I don't hate white people. How I look at it, you have poisonous snakes and you have non-poisonous snakes. But at the end of the day, it's a snake. And I'm just going based off of their history. Every manner of people they have ever came in contact with, what has happened? What they did to them? What has history?
What do you mean by they? What do you mean by they?
White.
Just white? Like when you say white people, what do you mean specifically? Because it's like white people from every region. It's a lot of different types of white people. So it's like I can't just say all white people have done one specific thing. I can't say that.
Okay. Are Portuguese not white people? Are Jewish?
I don't know.
Not white people? Yes, they're all white.
Are Portuguese people white?
Yes.
Are they white or are they Portuguese?
They're white. What about Spaniards?
White. What do you define as white?
If you're from Europe, you're white.
So just Europe.
Yes.
Okay. So what about a white person that's from Africa, but they white? Like Elon Musk.
There's no such thing as a white person.
You classify Elon Musk as white?
Yes, he's a white man. There's no white.
But he's from Africa,
there's no
not
such
Europe.
thing. There's no such thing as a white person from Africa.
Okay, so so what's Elon Musk then? He's African? He's African American?
I don't know what he claimed to be.
Well, it's not about what he claims. I'm telling you, he's born in Africa. He currently lives in America.
Yeah,
so because he's not from Europe, he's not white. But he's clearly not black. He's African, but he lives in America. So is he African American or what would you call him?
I would just call him white.
But he's not from Europe. You just said white people are from Europe.
Yes, white people are from Europe, but you have white people in America that were born and raised here that's been here for generations. At the end of the day, you trace their lineage, it's gonna go back to Europe. If you trace
I'm adding a third person. It's
lineage, it's gonna go back to Europe. Hi, sir.
This is my husband. He wanted to join.
What's going on?
So go ahead and say your piece. Thank you. Locked in.
Me?
Who is this person?
Can you hear me?
Me?
Yes, you talk.
Yeah. Oh, I had to step out. Oh, so I wanted to say something about the whole Spaniards are white, or what her definition of black and white
Portuguese.
is. The Portuguese, because they speak Spanish, or they mainly speak Spanish. So wouldn't they have just came from like a line of Mexican
No,
people?
because the Spaniards, they're the one who taught the Mexican Spanish. You got to realize a Mexican is nothing but a Native American.
Right, right. You know, you can't come on here talking about Mexicans. You know, Mexicans don't apply to every Hispanic person.
Well,
not literally Mexicans, but like
Latinos.
I don't know what the overall
term,
what you would call the people.
Like
I don't know what the overall
Latinos, Latinas.
Yeah, like that ethnicity of people is different from Europeans.
They were taught Spanish by the Spaniards. That's not their original.
Right. The Spaniards. I mean, like they're not European. They're Spaniards, right?
Where
and whether or not Elon Musk will be considered African American or what?
Are you on your iPad?
Have we ever met Candace Owens in person? No.
No.
If I see that lady, I'm gonna be like, can I take a picture?
I love Candace Owens.
Yeah, I do too. I'm gonna take a picture of her.
But yeah, from what you're saying, Latinos, Latinas, they speak Spanish because they were taught that by the Spaniards when the Spaniards came over here over into, you know, their areas. They were all Native Americans before the invasion. They spoke their native language, which wasn't Spanish, just like their last names. All of those are Spaniard last names, like Lopez and Hernandez. And that's just like with the Philippines as well. They were conquered by the Spaniards as well. And that's why they have, quote unquote, you know, Mexican last names. Hold on.
Interesting.
I'm about to look up, we're about to pull up a map of where Spain is.
Right. Grab the globe.
Yeah.
Right, you got the globe.
All right. So yeah. Spain, Portugal, all of that, that's Europe. Let's see if I can pull this up.
So you're basically saying that if you're white and you're from Europe, you're white? I just wanted to know what the definition of white was. It kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of indefinable.
It is indefinable.
Based on what we discussed this about. Well, I'm sweating.
What should I say? Caucasian?
Okay, you can hop the voice because you got too much noise going on.
My bad.
Thanks for your input.
Everybody.
We're having a very civilized discussion right now. You kind of messed up.
Yeah, it's kind of loud over there.
I had to step out. I know it's gonna start getting loud.
Jesus.
But yeah, sorry about that. So what is your opinion? Like, what is white? What does it mean to be white? Or what does it mean to be black?
White is where you're from, I guess. Europe, like I said. Like I don't understand what you're asking. Like, what do you mean by what do you mean? Like, what is it to be black or white?
Okay, so I just want to know because I know that the definitions of black and white change because black people often say, "Oh, you're not black," or you was raised around white people, so you're not really black. So, like, is it just a skin color thing? Is it a culture thing? Is it, you know?
Well, I feel like the definitions for black and white in America is different because we get confused with race and ethnicity a lot here. And a lot of people don't know race and ethnicity. Like black people, we've been Negroes, we've been colored, we've been black, we've been African American, you know, we've been we've been everything under the sun. But it's just like at the end of the day, who are we? Who are we really? We just go off of we're black, we're white. These are names that they gave to us.
Well, if we go off nationality, we're all just Americans.
Exactly.
That's what I consider myself, but
right,
people will say that I'm a coon for having the
are
American flag on the wall right here.
Are Americans free? Like, America is the land of the free, right?
America is the land of the oppressed and the home of
It's the land of the America is the slogan is the land of the free, right?
She said
yes, that's what they say.
Okay, so was your mother a slave?
No.
Was your grandmother a slave?
No.
Was your great grandmother a slave?
No.
Okay, so we've been free for quite some time, and the oppression that we quote unquote face is nothing compared to actual slavery and being in bondage. So we've been free for so long. Why are we still fighting about color and race and oppression?
Okay, so we have been free physically from the chains, yes. But have we been free mentally? No. Are we still oppressed? Yes. I don't know if you were on here earlier when I was explaining how Black people, the difference between prejudice and racism, and how Black people do still face oppression every single day. Redlining is oppression, not being able to live where you want to live. Just like I was explaining.
How is redlining oppression? So explain.
Because if I want to buy this house, you're going to tell me I can't buy this house simply because I'm Black. That's redlining. You're going to not approve me for this loan simply because I'm Black. Like I said on your post, Navy Federal right now, Navy Federal Credit Union right now is under investigation. Why? Because they didn't even approve 50% of their Black applicants when they were more qualified, made more money than white applicants. Simply,
I feel like that makes no sense for a corporation to do though. If I know anything about how banking institutions run, as I used to work for Discover Financial, I know for a fact that they need people to invest money into their their company to run. So it makes zero sense that they would deny people based on their race.
But it's happening though, just like with Wells Fargo.
I don't think Wells Fargo's because of their race.
Wells Fargo, because of their race.
It is because of the race. Wells Fargo just got sued for that. But
just because people are saying it's because of their race doesn't mean that that's the case.
No, I know someone it happened to personally.
And you believe they have because of the race?
Yes.
You know that
100%.
You know that for a fact. You know that.
I know that for a fact. It's actually my sister, and I wish she was on here
right now. I don't know what the hell my sister got going on. You know that.
I know that for a fact. She has immaculate credit. She has a very good job, a stable job. She's good across the board. Why wouldn't they approve her?
Yeah, denied.
That makes no sense.
Exactly.
It has to be.
It don't make no sense. But then you also have to go back to these banks. How was they funded? It's nothing but slave money from the slave trade. That's all these banks are. They took that money and turned them into corporations. That's it.
That's kind of wild.
Chase,
that's a wild claim.
Wells Fargo, all of that.
Okay.
That's
so if they're racist, why are they approving any Black people at all?
Right.
Because they have to make a certain quota. They can't just blatantly be like, "Oh yeah, forget all these Black people."
They have to make a certain quota.
Why not? Now. Why not though? If it's still gonna be a problem, why not go all the way with it? If you're so racist,
because they don't want to seem like they're racist. Just like,
yet they still do.
They still do until people call them on their BS. We don't want to admit that it's happening, but it's happening every single day. Every single day, a Black person going to a bank, try to cash a check. The lady taking it in the back, I think this check is fake. And her boss called her on the BS. He called her on it. Why only when the Black people come in here, you want to run back here talking about the check is fake, but I just didn't watch 3 or 4.
Can I say something? I used to work for Rent a Center, a hood Rent a Center at that. And my manager was discriminatory against any white person that walked in there because we were in the hood. Any white person that walked in there was likely on crack and they was gonna steal the product and sell meth. So my manager told me that anytime a white person came in there, you need to do double checks on them, triple checks on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing that they do to black people when it comes to checks. It's just,
but it's not at the same rate at all.
but it still happens.
So that makes it okay.
Does that make
No,
it okay?
I never said it makes it okay. I never said that at all that it makes it okay.
Okay, but I don't see any white people complaining about racial discrimination.
Because
if that's the case, I'm gonna tell my story and give them the motivation to get online and say that they're receiving discrimination from black people, and then we're gonna be black people in the comments saying black people can't be racist. Do you think that was an example of racism? What I just told you about my job?
No, that's prejudice bias. That's their opinion. Because are all
based
white
on what though?
But look, are all white people meth heads?
No.
Okay. Do all white people steal? So
no.
That was your boss' opinion of that white person. That was.
But nonetheless, it was an opinion based on their race.
Based on their race, yeah. So that's your boss.
No,
how is that not
100% prejudice?
How is that not racism? It's based on their race. The fact that they were white, their race.
Because so he was being prejudiced. You can be prejudiced to any group of people based off your opinion of them. But once you start implementing things that affects their day-to-day life, like I said, redlining or not hiring them for jobs, that's when it becomes racist. That boss throwing my application away in my face when I know I was qualified, that's racist. Because now you're stopping me from getting a job.
That happened
to
you?
Yes, that happened to me personally here.
Why did you sue for racial discrimination? You could be rich.
This was way back when I was in my 20s. I wasn't as knowledgeable as I am now.
Darn.
Yeah.
Girl, you could have.
Because I showed if I was
wait a minute, that could happen to me, honestly. I want it to happen because I'm gonna sue the hell out these people. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
My life is gonna change.
I agree. If I knew what I knew now back then for sure I would have been rolling in the dough because it was thrown away in my face.
So why aren't more black people suing if it's happening so much?
What are you talking about? Black people are suing.
Or if this
black people are suing.
Like if it's
hearing
really
about this on a daily basis.
We should. That should be the number one news. If we know that we get discriminated against in
put that
real
as
time.
number one news. Who control the news? They not gonna put that on the news. They not gonna put our wins on the news. People out here.
Okay, so why do they have to put on the news?
Okay, but they put the thing about Wells Fargo and Navy Federal on the news.
Was that on the news?
Yes.
But there are. I mean, even if it's not on the news, you can just read about it. If people was really doing that, it'll be on our Facebook timeline. It ain't got to be on the news.
It's on my Facebook timeline. I'm seeing it all over social media.
So you see a lot of black people suing?
I do. For discrimination in the job. They calling OSHA, here go a nice 10 band right here. What does that mean?
That sounds like a come up then. Sounds like a come up to me.
No, that man who just won 4.6 million from Walmart for back in 2020 when the white guy came up to him and was like, you got to leave the store, called the police on him and everything, literally for nothing just because he wanted him to leave.
And he $4.6 million rich.
He won $4.6 million.
The justice system worked in his favor to me. Sounds like this country has a great justice system.
Who heard about that though?
You.
Exactly. Nobody. They not gonna put that on the news.
You know somebody?
Exactly. That's what I'm hearing about it. This is the stuff that I look for though. I look for this type of stuff. Y'all said that y'all don't see it, but it's there.
Where did you see it?
It's happening. This was just a couple of days ago.
Where did you see it?
I seen it on TikTok. I seen it on Instagram.
Oh, it was on two.
It was making the rounds to me.
Yeah, it seemed like it's pretty viral if you saw it on two platforms. Two major platforms at that.
If you look it up, it was Walmart 2020. He won, I believe it was $4.6 million. He won.
Justice was served.
I wish I had my computer.
Justice was served for him being discriminated in Walmart.
Yep. Justice was served. So it sounds like in 2023, the judicial system is handling it. Because back in the day, they wouldn't have gave a damn. They would have lynched that guy for even daring to question a white man. Now he can sue him and become a millionaire.
Yeah.
Right. It seems like the problems are being fixed.
We're great. So what's the problem? What system is holding us back?
I don't feel like
Like the system.
the problem is being fixed.
If the system fucks up,
when would you say? When
and
does
get
it
it together.
end? So when would you be satisfied and you say, okay, we're not oppressed anymore?
Okay, what makes you think we're not oppressed? And I'm not talking about individual Black people or Black people in certain states. I'm talking about Black people as a whole.
Okay, I can answer that.
Go ahead.
If our race makes up individual people, and if everybody was doing their best individually, our race would not be oppressed. But everybody is not doing their best individually, so our race is not doing as well.
Okay, and what do you mean we're not doing our best individually?
Means that our birth rate is not increasing. We have still more violence per capita, and that, I know that's not the average Black person, but it's almost half at this point. There's a lot more people running the streets in these condensed areas up to no good. I mean, up to no good. It's because they don't have their parents.
Because they don't have their daddies. Remember we were talking about single moms?
Why are we subjected to these ghettos? Why are we subjected to these communities?
Well, because they can't afford to move out.
No, because of redlining. It goes back to redlining.
There are Black people living in nice areas.
Now there
anywhere.
is.
Yeah,
now
so what's the problem?
We're not talking about the past.
Right, we're talking about right now.
Exactly.
And everything we said that was oppressing us is not oppressing us at this moment. And then you're like, right. We're like, well, it's not happening anymore. So when does it end?
Listen, what I'm saying is you guys are constantly saying right now, but the stuff from the past is affecting right now. Redlining was not that long ago. How long ago you think that was? You think those ancestors, you think those people still don't have those houses and they families today? My granny lived in her house for over 40 years. Over 40,
That's
over
great.
45 years.
That's great.
Honestly,
I don't see a problem with that.
Exactly.
That's
the problem. But that's what I'm saying. But when she bought her house, it was in a time where redlining was still very prevalent.
Yeah. And it's not happening anymore.
But yet it didn't deter her.
No, because it did deter her because she had to buy a house in Watts, California, in the ghetto, in the hood.
Okay.
But she had a house.
She got a house, and she can still get another house. It seems like she had for that long. It's probably paid off. She can get another house.
No, I'm going based off what y'all said with the crime. We are subjected to ghettos. We have to buy houses where we can. Why?
Who's making it ghetto?
Okay.
Who's making our hood
the
ghetto?
people who live there.
The people who live
there.
Oh my gosh. Y'all not understanding what I'm trying to say.
No, we do.
No, I feel like
I fully understand you, but you're not hearing what you're saying.
I'm hearing.
I want you to watch this back. I want you to watch this back.
If you
like, wow,
put a group of people in a quote unquote ghetto, you give them the bare minimum.
What makes it so? Okay, my bad. You were saying.
You give them the bare minimum. We already know in the hoods, they get the worst in the grocery stores. They don't. It's different opportunities. As far as in the suburbs, in the hood, what you have on every corner, a church, and a liquor store,
a liquor store, a A-Rod place, a gas station. And the thing
you
about
go out
that is,
to the suburbs, you're not gonna have that. When those Black people tried to buy those houses out there, they were redlined. They weren't allowed to.
So what is what we have any different from what the other communities have? So we have a gas station the other communities have. They're all ran by the same people. We have Chinese spots ran by Chinese people. The church is ran by Black people. And this is like this everywhere. Like you go to a Chinese place, it's probably ran by Chinese people.
She wanted to say hi.
You know, you go to a liquor store, it's probably ran by Arabs or Indians or something. So it's like everybody they got those communities got places in everybody community. We don't have anything in our own community.
And that's a fact.
We don't.
And that's because we're not doing anything in our own community.
Who's not doing nothing? I'm doing something in my own community.
So why is it the business booming?
Niggas collectively.
What's stopping us from building our community right now?
Okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna say it again because you weren't here when I already explained this.
I was in. I heard you.
About
that's
what? What part?
About the part where what you was explaining in the red line, right?
No.
Well, I was watching for a minute. Tell me what you said.
When you were asking about how, when you just said how why we don't have these things that they have, like I was explaining earlier, every time Black people have something for themselves or try to get ahead for themselves, you have white people coming in and dismantling it. It has happened over and over and over and over and over.
Okay.
Right, and then
You
we just
said every
said
time.
that I brought up how we live on the south side of Chicago, ran by a Black mayor who's currently destroying our city. Our city
But
is
that's
Detroit.
just your city. I'm speaking as Black people as a collective.
Black people, we are not a monolith. There is no Black people as a collective. Everybody's an individual.
Everybody is an individual, but at the end of the day, we are being oppressed collectively. We're being destroyed collectively.
See, you said we're individuals, so we're
Mass
collectively being oppressed.
incarceration
Everybody,
is
I ain't never been to
affecting
jail.
all these Black people.
right? I ain't never been to jail.
I ain't never been arrested. I don't know what these things be doing, but
And that's a part of the problem. Like I was saying on my post too about Emmett Till's mother. She never thought, she didn't concern herself with the killings of Black people down in the South. Why? Because she was up north living her best life. It didn't affect her until it happened to her. And now she was like, okay, I'm going to be this big advocate because now it affected me directly. But it always has been happening. It just wasn't affecting her directly.
But notice how when we ask you what's happening right now, you bring up Emmett Till.
Some shit from 50 damn years ago. Longer than that. Damn.
Like we've been asking you about what's happening right now.
How can you not see what's happening right now? I just gave y'all hella examples.
I guess you're saying that our cities are shit because white people tearing it down, but we live in a Black city. They live in a Black city, and niggas are tearing it up. So niggas are doing it.
They devastated the whole Black community.
Niggas came and looted. This city still has not recovered from when they was looting over here. It's still shit that's boarded up. Niggas were stealing shoes. You should have surprised. Niggas are stealing all type of shit. And let me say something else. I used to work at a grocery store in 2020. The day they started looting at the store I worked at, you would think niggas were stealing food. Niggas came in that store, did not touch any food. They came in there and stole liquor and
I want to address one of these comments.
Go ahead.
Who is Choo Choo Beats?
That's him.
Oh yeah. What did you mean about they don't know you Black before they pull you over?
Yeah, when you get pulled over, the police don't know you Black until they walk up to the car. And a lot of people be having tents, so they don't know if you Black before they pull up on the car. They stop you because you were breaking. They stop you because you're breaking the law, and then when they get up there, they're like, "Oh, okay, he's Black, he's white, he's a male." So, and they gauge the situation after they pull you over.
So you're saying that police never pull over Black people just for them being Black? Because I know in California, it's illegal to have a certain amount of tents. And I know growing up in California, in the hood, I've been in a car where we've been pulled over just off the strength of being Black.
Yeah.
When they looked at us, when they seen us, they bust the bitch and turned around and pull us over because they seen a car full of Black people.
You said that you can get arrested for having tents. That's not arrested for being Black. You say get pulled over for having tents. That doesn't mean you get pulled over for being Black.
No, I didn't say that.
It's the tents.
I didn't say that. I said in California, because you said
it's illegal to have tents,
right? But
a certain amount of tents.
You were saying that they pull you over not knowing your race because half of the time most people have tents. And I'm saying in California,
not most people. A lot of people have tents. So,
and I'm saying in California, it's illegal to have a certain tent.
They car didn't have dark tents.
Basically, like if they come into us, they see a car full of Black people and you bust a U-turn and pull us over just off the strength of being Black. That's happened to me and people I know several times.
So how do you know that it's just because you was Black?
I wasn't breaking no law.
And you said you did what?
So what happened? Casually.
And then what happened? Did y'all get arrested? Did y'all get a ticket? Nothing happened?
No, nothing
all over and left?
They pulled us over. Excuse me, sir. Why did you pull us over? Oh, you look suspicious. It's a car full of people. Okay, we not doing nothing. Or they pull you over. Oh, where y'all going? That's none of your business where we're going.
Wow.
I'm from LA.
An amazing story.
That's normal for us.
Well, at least unless you leave, they ain't hang you up or nothing.
In LA, you see Black boys walking down the street The police hem them up for no reason, just because they're walking down the street. I've seen it happen too many times. Just walking down the street. LAPD swoop up, hem you up, just because they feel like it. The police beat up my cousin because they felt like it. He wasn't committed to a crime.
Did you sue him?
Did y'all sue them?
I was a kid. Well, I was a teenager. So I guess no, my auntie said
you missed a lot of money. Shit. You been going through it.
Look at my people in here.
She is right. Regarding what?
Wait, where we at?
Police can see through the window when your registration. Yeah, they can see through your window after they stop you. But if you speeding past them, they probably don't see you.
No, we wasn't speaking. I know I wasn't speaking. A lot of times.
Well, if they can, in that particular instance, yeah, they can see you.
It does happen some of the time. I knew someone that was wrongfully arrested and had his car damaged because he was sleeping in his car. I'm sorry that happened to your cousin regarding being racially profiled because you are black on police.
Is it illegal to sleep in the car?
No, people live in their car nowadays.
But is it
legal?
Illegal.
Is it legal to sleep in the car? That's a real question. I think it depends on where you park at.
Let's see.
Is it illegal to sleep in the car?
Yeah, I don't think it's illegal to sleep in the car.
What do you think RV is?
Oh, right,
no.
That's true.
A motorhome.
You right.
They don't pay no rent.
Yeah, I don't think it's illegal to sleep in a car. But let's just confirm. I believe you, babe, but I just want to confirm.
Depends on where you're sleeping at in your car because they can trespass you.
Oh yeah, that's right. He said it depends on where you're sleeping at in your car because they can trespass you.
Right. Okay. So in that instance, was she trespassing?
Ooh.
Or whoever
He's talking to somebody in the comments.
Yeah. No. Yeah. For whoever that got arrested. For
hey, cousin.
I'm not about to sit here and say the police are perfect. There are corrupt police officers, but ultimately, what I want black people to understand is you shouldn't be paranoid about the police. If you're not doing nothing wrong, you shouldn't be scared.
Yeah. But that's not what I was shown.
I was not scared.
That's not what I was shown growing up. Like, not to get into it because I don't like getting into my upbringing, but I grew up in a very, very rough neighborhood, Watts, California, so I've seen police do a lot of grimy stuff.
Yeah.
So, yes, when I see the police, I don't look at them in a good light.
Any police
to tell the story?
No matter the race?
No matter the race.
Any police officer. So you one of the
okay,
police
so my
My
husband, he don't want to tell a story, so I'm gonna tell it for him. It was a guy we went to school with. What was it, Christmas Day? He was riding on his bike, and what happened?
Well, him and
his girlfriend got into it. Basically, he was riding around his bike. The police seen him. He did have a gun. He put it down. They pulled him over. He put his gun down. They apprehended the gun. They handcuffed him, to the gate? A female cop. She handcuffed him to the gate and shot him in the head.
Oh my God.
You can look it up. It was on the news. You can look it up.
So
what year was that? What year was that? That was back in like 2012? Yeah, I think it was like 12 or 13. It was a big thing. It was on the news. I don't know what came from it, but we both definitely knew him. We went to school with him. He definitely
What was his name?
His name was Kevin. What was his last name? His name was Kevin. I'm not sure his last name. He about to look it up right now. But his name was Kevin, and he was handcuffed, and that female officer killed him while he was handcuffed to the gate. Yeah.
I hope that somebody got paid for that.
Yeah, that sounds
I
Because
like,
hope, I hope
that's
they
not
get sued.
okay.
I hope the
yeah,
family sued because the family, they definitely was on the news and all that. Do anybody in my comments know? You guys,
Yeah, let us know, because
do
yeah,
y'all
that
that's
remember
is
that
an
crazy.
example of corrupt police
Yeah,
power being
I
abused.
when
need to know
Kevin
what
got
happened.
killed?
Yeah, like, any more information? And like, what was his name? You said you don't know his last name.
His name was Kevin, and it was in Watts, California.
In what year? 20.
I think it was 2012. You found
Okay. Yeah, look that up.
Kevin?
I ain't got my computer or nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was in. I think it was like in
Yeah, that's crazy.
2012 around that time. But it was on Christmas Day. It was Christmas Day.
That's horrific.
Let me see. Oh, you found the picture? Did you find a story? I got the iPad right here. But yeah, that's just one of many examples. Like I said, I can
Kevin Lamar,
remember
maybe.
even growing up in my house. Like I said, I grew up with a lot of gang violence. My cousins. I can remember the police coming in my house, snatching my cousin up just because. I can remember me being at the door with my history book telling them about if you don't got no search warrant, you can't come in this house.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you dealt with that. I am. I'm very happy to say that I had a blessed childhood that did not deal with any instances of that
I did.
right where I
I
live.
dealt with all of that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy that that's an experience that people have at such a young age.
Even down to more recently, what was it, 2018? No, 2017. I had moved back home to take care of my granny, so I was living in Watts, California. Our backyard had caught on fire from a firework. Yeah. And the fire department came out, of course, and then the police came out as well. And basically, I'm going back and forth with a black officer because he's trying to tell me. Did you find it?
Yeah, the stuff I'm seeing is I'm not seeing anything. Somebody named Kevin. I seen two with Kevin, but it just say he got killed in gang violence. I seen one in
Did you
2013
put
September.
try
Yeah,
to put White
Yeah.
California or Los Angeles?
I said I put killed Kevin killed in Watts,
You should
California by police.
try Los Angeles, California, maybe. He went to Jordan because he went to Jordan High School.
Okay, Kevin accused of ambushing and shooting a police officer. Kevin found multiple firearms on the scene. 2023. I'm not seeing that until 2013.
Those 2023.
Yeah,
What?
everything changed in 2023.
Dang,
Well,
Kevin's out here acting crazy.
The Kevins is out here wilding.
authorities ambush. Wait,
It would have been on
yeah,
Christmas
somebody
Day.
ambushed the police.
Christmas.
It seems like this. It seems like these people are killing the police. I'm just seeing articles about Kevin ambushing police officers and shooting at police.
Let's see. What was his last name? I don't
A lot
remember.
going on.
I don't remember his name, but that happened.
I'm sorry that happened to him.
Hold on.
Very sad for him and his family.
Hold on. Wait.
That
Okay.
sounds crazy.
This is in 2010. Kevin, a 23-year-old black man, Kevin Wooten,
Yeah,
was
yeah.
shot and killed by a Los Angeles police officer on December 25th. Yeah, here it is.
That's it.
Okay, he was
Wooten.
called down. The
Forgot
officer was in
that.
the housing area and shot. What do you want to do? People in the vehicle they saw riding 12 black people on the right foot ignored their commands. Wooten
Excuse me, choose
taken.
read it so we can hear what you're saying.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was reading. So what I'm seeing, what I'm seeing is Wooten was right. It says while dealing with the people in that vehicle, they saw Wooten riding toward them on a bicycle. He was holding a rifle and ignored their commands, prompting them to shoot. Police said Wooten was taken to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. According to his records, he died from several gunshot wounds. Yeah, they recovered the rifle. Yeah.
He was handcuffed to the gate.
Was there
Because his beef,
video?
Right.
the beef wasn't with the police. What happened, babe? His girlfriend was cheating. His girlfriend cheated on him. He caught her and the dude in the car. And the dude, they had words. And then him and the dude had words. And then Kevin went to go get the Blammer. He was on a 10-speed bike. He had an AK on his back. And then what happened? The police, somebody seen him riding and called the police. Somebody seen him riding, and then somebody called the police. And then they swooped in. They told him to put it down. He put it down. And then, of course, they handcuffed him. And then the lady cop shot and killed him.
That is not what that article just said.
Yeah, that was two completely different.
The story. So where y'all? So did y'all hear this from his girlfriend, or did y'all see a video, or like how?
This is from the community. This is from witnesses that were around because it's Christmas Day. People is outside doing stuff,
right.
You know. So it's from witnesses.
They performed the execution in broad daylight.
Right. What time was it? It was daytime.
When was it? We was coming from the club. You was coming from the club? It was at night?
Did anybody do anything?
It was at night.
That? Like, if everybody saw it, I'm sure they would have been some petitions to get that man arrested or something. Like, that's crazy.
This is
they didn't do nothing about that?
In Watts, California. The hood, no.
Wow.
No. Unfortunately, no.
That is amazing.
Of course, you know, they had the family was on the news, you know, how they do. But I don't know if it went further than that. I don't know if the family sued. I don't know.
So they was on the news.
The family was, yes.
People saw it, but nobody thought that there was nothing. That was it.
Right. Nobody recorded. I found out nobody recorded it in the year 2010. We had smartphones back then. And people could have whipped people who was whipping their phones out recording crazy shit.
A petition?
I don't know if it's recordings of it. It could be, but
I need to know that because that's insane. That should have been the next what's that boy's name? Trayvon Martin. That should have preceded Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
Because that don't make no damn sense.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, that's how you spell it.
Kevin. Mama, can Choo send me? I think somebody wants some beats.
And yeah, also now all news articles report the truth. We should already know that by now.
For sure.
Yeah,
we
for sure.
Know that for sure. That they gonna give you the story that they want you to hear.
Yeah.
What happened to his girlfriend?
Right, we need to get her on here. Shit.
I don't know. I know because they had kids too, huh?
LA is pretty cool.
They had 2 kids. 2 girls, yeah.
Okay, and so it's popular. It's 24,000 views.
What
is?
No, the video. There's a video. Somebody made a video like. Let me show you. I'm trying.
Yep, that's him.
Right.
That's good.
What is that?
This is them talking about it. The music's too loud. You can't even hear what they're saying. But
they said the article says he ignored commands. Because I want to know what escalated to him getting shot. A police officer is not going to just shoot you in the head.
right,
well,
that's
a police
wild.
officer, by that logic, they should just start killing people on the street.
Yeah,
Somebody
got away with that.
No, for real. This is what it is. No, I don't think have y'all ever been to LA? Yeah. Have you ever traveled to LA?
I have.
Okay, because in the gang culture, that's just how it is.
Right.
It's been to where
really bad
in our project,
they
will have shootouts with the police.
Yeah, the gang problem is really bad in LA. So if I'm in LA,
I'm trying to get my husband on here so he can tell his stories because he has a lot of stories to tell.
But the gang violence in LA is really, really bad. And if I'm in LA and somebody drives towards me on a bike with a gun on their back, I would be pretty threatened. Really, really, really threatened. Because you would see something out the ordinary, like somebody driving towards you with an AK. If the gang violence is that bad,
what?
They got to be strapped all the time. And they don't care for the police.
No, we talking about police though.
That's amazing.
Come tell your story. You don't want to come.
Right,
Don't
and
be
it seems
scared.
like it's
Well, tell it to me, and I can tell it to them. You have a story, Beck? Yes. And your personal encounters?
When I was in high school, kids came to school with guns. Yeah, they do that.
Don't be telling people
yeah.
that.
When I was in high school, kids came to school with guns.
They do that. They be
That's
walking
right
through the
now.
trenches. They gotta make sure they're not gonna get killed.
Fucking the little Mexican cop slammed me. He slammed me in Bass was like, you know, Bass helped me slam me up. I was that dope when he slammed me.
Really?
In high school, yeah, enjoy it.
Well, my husband, he don't want to tell his own story, so I'm gonna tell it for him. How old was you? When he was 17, what happened? He had got arrested.
My man might as well come on the camera, man.
He doesn't want to.
Come on, man. Come on. Anyway, he said when he was 17, he got arrested for beating this boy up in high school that was inappropriately touching his sister. And they arrested him. And what station they took you down to?
77.
He got took down to the station, 77. My people in here from LA, you already know about that station. And 108. And basically, while he was handcuffed, the police beat his ass for no reason.
Okay. All right. So let's start there. Let's start at the beginning. So he got arrested for beating up somebody that was molesting or that was touching his
Yes.
what,
So we went
sister?
to school with this. We went to school with this boy. So the boy was basically inappropriately, trying to touch his sister. The sister told him, and of course, you got to catch a friendly because you're not going to just be touching on my sister. Right. And then who arrested you? The school police first?
Well, back to the LAPD too, but yeah.
He worked at the school?
Yeah.
Okay, so our school police, which is still LAPD, arrested him. He, complied with everything, and then you got sent to the station?
I got slammed at school.
Oh, he got slammed at school first.
He got slammed at school?
Yeah, while in handcuffs. You was in handcuffs? And why he slammed you? Were you? Uh-huh.
A little bit.
And then what?
They slammed me and put in the school. We had a jail cell at school.
We did not have a jail cell at school.
I'm like, you had a jail cell at school? What the hell going on in California?
Where?
And Betty, you ain't never been in a police office?
No, I never been in a police office. Why would I be in a police office?
We had a police office that had a one-man cell.
Shut up. Okay, so apparently our high school had a one-man cell.
Our high school had metal detectors at one point.
Yeah, my high school had metal detectors, but it wasn't like a holding cell. It was just you sitting in there with the police. I think a cell is excessive.
Were both of y'all minors at the time? Chris, yeah.
Chris, he was a super senior.
He was my age. So my husband at the time, this is for the person asking, were both of them minors. At the time, my husband, he was a minor. He was 17, but the guy that he fought was of age.
Yeah, Chris was 21.
He was not 21.
Bro, he got held back.
He was
21 in high school?
He was not 20. He probably was like 19.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn. Super duper 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 senior.
He probably was like 19. So my husband, he was a minor, but the other guy was of age, to answer your question.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know these high schools had holding cells. That is new to me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is new to me. I wasn't getting in trouble.
Right.
Yes, they arrested him. Why did they arrest you?
What's the charge they gave you?
Yeah, what's the charge that they give you?
Aggravated assault and battery with deadly weapon.
So
aggravated assault
your husband
and
got arrested.
battery.
He was the one that got beat up?
No, the other guy got beat up. So they charged my husband
beat up old dude who was
he got charged with
so your
aggravated.
husband got beat
and
up by
got
the
charged
police,
for beating somebody up.
right? And then you said that the police beat him up while he was
They just
handcuffed.
Slammed him.
Yeah, they slammed him up while he was handcuffed.
Okay,
And
did they beat him up after that?
Did they-
Like, when did they slam him?
They roughed me up.
Yeah, he said they roughed him up a little bit
When
after
did
that.
they
At
rough you up?
108th Station, y'all. My people in LA, y'all know about 108th Station.
They beat him up in, like, they roughed him up in the police station.
Say it
I
again.
said they roughed him up in the police station after the fight.
Yeah.
They had a fight in the police station as well. But that's a whole nother.
Yeah, so they roughed him up because they had to transfer him. So when they transfer him to 108th, a lot of people know about 108th, and that's where he got roughed up. And he was and did you have to register your hands? He had to register his hands as a deadly weapon.
Jesus Christ! He beat the shit out of that person. Golly!
It's expunged now. He has a clean record.
Okay, yay!
Yeah.
We love that. We love the happy ending.
When I was 77, I had called an extra charge because this older dude was trying to watch me pee out. Whooped his ass in there, and then they roughed me up and sent me to the 108.
Okay, so basically from school he got sent to one police station, but he had another fight in there with an older guy because the older guy was trying to, what he was doing?
Trying to look at me pee.
Trying to look at him pee on some, I don't want to say,
Wow.
yeah.
Zesty stuff.
So then after that, they roughed him up there. Then he got transferred to another police station, and they roughed him up there too. But he made it.
You sound like you need to be suing.
Right. It's like the police in LA out of control. I'm never
They
going
are.
to
No,
heard
they
that the
are.
police in LA.
They very much so are.
Yeah, I heard that. But like, what my thing is, the police is bad, but so are the gangs. So like, I'm sure they bad.
In LA,
Like,
you can't even sit in your car.
what you mean?
You can't even sit in the car because they gonna swoop up and hem you up just because you just sitting there.
I mean, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Leave LA.
It's sad.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I live in Arizona.
She said she in Arizona.
I
Yeah,
left.
Get the hell out of there.
Yeah, you gotta leave.
Left.
That sounds like
Yes.
an unlivable situation.
That sounds like police state.
No,
Right
for
there.
real. What the hell?
But that's normal, it's not normal, but that's our norm, and that's how we have our preconceptions about the police because it's never been good for us. They never came to help. Even when they come to help, they still on the bullshit.
Yeah.
Or if you call them for help, they just not gonna show up. Honestly.
Sound like Chicago.
Right. They don't bother.
People you're supposed to call to protect you don't come.
Police is a gang of. Oh yeah. The police is a gang of Los Angeles. Oh, actually,
5,500 boys in Twin Towers.
let me tell y'all a story. So, like I said, my cousins, they were a part of the gang. We all live in the house. Our house got raided. Boom. That's no hero there. So, my mom is very politically incorrect. That's where I get it from. And the police basically arrested my mama for nothing because I hope I don't get nobody banned for this.
Crazy.
Okay, so basically, my mama was talking her shit. She was like, "Y'all having a Klan rally out here on 111th and Watts Avenue," and it was a black female officer out there, and she was running around like, "I'm the Klan, I'm the Klan," and she was like, "No, you not the Klan, you a house nigga." Soon as my mama stepped out the gate, they arrested her.
When did
For
this
freedom
happen?
of speech.
When did that happen?
She gets the whole weekend.
That's not constitutional. They can't do that.
She get the whole
When
weekend
this
in
happened?
jail.
What? See, I ain't
Yes, mama did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Let me call mama. Mama, what are you doing?
Yes, she did. I wish I could add her on here.
Say something.
You know, my mom
Oh,
got arrested. My mom been arrested, and she spent the night in jail. And that happened not too long ago.
Oh, this
She
was too long ago. She not gonna be incriminated. She good. This is years ago. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah, my mom got arrested for beating this girl up, and she got arrested and she had to spend the night in jail. And I think she told me that maybe I may be misremembering what she said, but she said that the police was kind of like, oh, when she was and they had her chained up, they got her off the paddy wagon, and like she said she fell and hit her face, and like they let her fall and hit her face, and like she said that they just wasn't really caring, you like they was, they didn't really care because she tripped and fell, and they just like, they was laughing and stuff. I was like, dang, mom, why they do that to you? And I'm thinking like, man, mama probably could have sued. I don't know,
For
could have said they
sure.
beat her up.
Uh-oh.
Big dog on the phone.
Got the big dog on the phone.
I told her.
We're talking about prejudice versus racism, corrupt police systems. Remember the time you went to jail?
Anybody else want to join? We need to be ass folks.
I mean, look.
Wait, what you say, Papa? What you go to jail for?
Exercising my constitutional right.
Told you.
Wow.
And that was just one of many.
And then when I made a citizen's arrest, they started stalking me.
When she made a citizen's arrest, they start stalking her.
Sorry, what?
When she made a citizen's arrest and they start stalking her. Mama, what they was doing? How they was stalking you?
Oh, stalking.
Girl, I could not walk nowhere without them niggas following me, pulling me over, trying to get me caught up.
See? That's just LA. That's how it is.
Wow.
It was on my mom, but they didn't like my mom specifically because my mama would teach the kids in the community about their Black history. She see the police riding by. She see a little Black kid. Who had a dream? Who was the first Black person to win a Nobel Peace Prize? And they hated her for that because she was educating the next generation. That's what they didn't want to see. Is that the only time you got arrested for the cause, or was it another time?
You remember I went to jail behind Adam?
What happened that time?
They was violating.
Is that with the lady with the Klan? Because I told that story.
Oh, that was with Cheer.
Okay, so what happened with Adam? But people want to hear that story.
Girl, they came in the yard, harassing him, and then they was trying to break his arms.
I remember that actually. So the police was trespassing. My cousin was in the yard minding his own business. They came in the yard trespassing on private property, hemmed my cousin up, and basically almost broke his arm just because he was in his yard minding his own business.
And then I was on their head, girl. Then I stepped out the yard.
And then my mama was cussing him out, doing what she do. She stepped out the yard and they took her to jail.
I didn't do nothing.
She didn't even do nothing. She just stepped out the yard and they took her to jail.
And then I had
Can you ask her, has she ever taken it, as far as what the police have been doing, has she taken that a step further to get, some type of justice?
She made a citizen's arrest and they start stalking her.
No, I'm talking about as far as with the evidence that she has. Oh, they're stalking her, things of that nature. Those things, that's not allowed. So,
yeah,
so
basically, did you ever try to pursue suing them for them stalking you and stuff like that?
Girl, I was trying to stay alive.
She said she was trying to stay alive.
Because think about it, with Adam, when I went to court on that case, it was a conflict of interest. Then I ended up with a pro bono lawyer. And then they tried to make me pay a fine, and I said I did nothing wrong, and I'll just have a $10,000 trial, and they let me just dismiss it because I did nothing wrong.
And that's LA.
Wow. So was there any activists or anything with some resources that you could have reached out to?
My
Like
mama was the activist.
Right.
so she like
She
She have
still
any
is
groups?
an activist.
Was she involved with any groups?
No. Were you involved with any groups, Mama? Were you involved with any groups, or was it just you by yourself?
No, just with local neighborhood members that was about that political active life.
She said with just local.
Like I used to work, with Maxine Waters.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you know her
I did
after
Eartha Kitt
before the incident
Productions
happened?
and things like that. With the youth.
Yeah, she was very involved in the community.
So with Maxine Waters, did you know Maxine Waters before that situation happened? Or did you meet her after?
They said, did you know Maxine Waters before or after that situation?
I knew Maxine Waters in the 80s.
She knew Maxine Waters in the 80s.
So is that before?
That was after.
It was after.
Which situation they talking about with Maxine?
No, when you got arrested, they wanted to know, did you know Maxine Waters then?
Oh, no. This was happening to me in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, this was after, way in the 90s. She wasn't working with Maxine Waters no more after that.
Girl, they was the 90s wasn't nothing nice.
She said the 90s wasn't nothing nice. You want to give some examples of what happened in the 90s to Black people? I was a kid, so.
I was just telling you what happened, but the 90s basically was the crack era. And, it was gang violence. People were dying. The police were corrupt. It was wild out there.
Yeah, you did. You had a lot of corrupt police during the 90s as well, who were bringing the drugs in.
Had dope houses in the neighborhood.
The police had dope houses in the neighborhood.
The police?
The police used to get caught up in the dope house, raided, and they in there.
Huh?
We had our own Denzel Washington.
Oh.
His name is Modestus.
Oh. But yeah, so this is LA in the 90s.
So let me ask your mom, how's your mom feel about the concept of defunding the police?
Mom, the question is, how do you feel about the funding of police? How do you feel about the funding of police?
Defund.
Oh, the defunding of police. How do you feel about the defunding of police?
They need to be defunded.
Why you feel like they need to be defunded?
Because why are we spending our tax dollars for them to kill us? They're not. Are they following the law? They're criminals.
They are.
Why do I want to find a criminal?
They are.
They keep saying it's a fruit bad apples. No, it's more than a fruit bad apple. This many Black people are not dying in the streets at the hand of these people for no reason. So why I'm gonna fund somebody who is trying to destroy my people? I can't. No sense.
I agree.
So do you believe the overwhelming majority of police have bad intentions?
Do you believe the overwhelming majority of police have bad intentions?
I do.
She do. She says she does. And just for reference, my mom is 60. Now,
Okay.
not to put your age out there, mama. You look good for your age, girl. Okay, let's see.
That's very enlightening.
I don't believe they have bad intentions. What do you think their intentions are?
I think it depends on the person.
Amandala.
When I was a child, I used to want to be a cop. I did, until I realized you had to run and do a lot of physical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But my intentions in wanting to be a cop was the fact that I'm the big sister, and so I've always kind of been bossy. So I was kind of like, I want to enforce the law, in a bigger group.
Right.
But
she said it's just so many that have messed it up for the good ones. Oh, my sister want to be added. How do we add people? Can we add her?
She can send a request.
Can you send a request? Send a request, girl.
Or let me try to send one for her.
I ain't never did this before. So.
That's what I told you.
What?
You just want to eradicate the black and the brown.
My husband said he feel like the police just want to eradicate the black and the brown.
Man, the black cops,
Even the black police. Even the black police officers.
The black police officers be worse than the white ones.
So you think every black police officer?
I'm not saying
intention.
everyone. Nope, not everyone.
Most.
Not at all.
Hey, Nick.
Most.
You say black
Or like
or white cop.
Well, the ones that I've encountered for sure. But like I say, LAPD is a gang of their own. So.
Well, let me ask a question about what nationally. Okay, let's estimate how many police do you estimate, or what percentage of police do you estimate have negative intentions and aren't just trying to help uphold the law? What percent?
What percentage?
Yeah, just an estimate. You know.
I would say about 10%. The rest is just corrupt, for real.
What you said? You feel like only 5 to 10% are good, and the rest are corrupt. Okay.
Yeah, California seemed crazy. It said just in 2023 alone, 1,717 people were killed by California police.
Okay, I just added the next person. How you doing? Hello.
Hello. My sister.
Crazy.
Hi, sister.
Hello. How are you guys?
Great.
Good.
Great. That's a lot of people trying to join. Hold on.
All right, what's your input, girl?
I feel like I come from both sides because one, my uncle was the deputy chief of the 77 Division Station for many years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also grown up in the environment in neighborhoods where it's just like when you see the police, you turn the other way. So it's sad because I know from firsthand experience, I never had the police to me was never a bad thing because I knew my uncle. Like it was just like he's he's the deputy chief of the police, so it was never like okay. But as soon as I grew older and I had my own interactions with the police, that's where it just went downhill. Because I would say at least like I hate to be like that, but at least like more than 50%.
I agree.
Have bad intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree.
And I don't sometimes I don't even think it's bad intentions. I think it's bias too. Because you know, if you've been in a profession for so long, because I was about to be a probation officer, but I said X-nay that because that was just no, not me. But I remember one was talking to us and he was black and he was like, "Do you think that you have bias?" And I'm like, "No, just me personally." I'm like, "No, I don't have bias." He like, if I see a black person right now walking across the street, he said, I think they're suspicious. He said, and that's because he was like, I work in an environment where I have to have bias. So I think it's just the profession they take on. Like that's a very hard profession to kind of get into and try to do the right thing. And we seen it in Training Day. I know it was just a movie, but that's like real life. You know, you come in with such good intentions and then you start seeing the corrupted. You be like, you know what? If you gonna get with it or get lost.
And that could go back to Dorner. Why did he respond the way he did to the LAPD, right?
It was.
Dorner, how he responded to LAPD. What happened?
It was too much.
Yeah,
racial profiling, too much. You know, after he done served his country, and did all this, and then to be treated that way on the force.
Yeah.
It was a slap in the face.
It was for him.
He broke. He snapped.
So, question: do you think that the increase of police brutality maybe has some type of correlation to the mass amount of criminality in LA? Do you think those two things are related?
It could be. I feel like sometimes it could be because I mean, it kind of depends because I know maybe in certain areas.
Can you give me a yes or a no?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So of the elevated crime and the elevated police brutality, what do you think would make would it make it better if the crime went down? Do you think the police brutality would go down, or do you think the police brutality has to go down first before the crime can go down?
I think think that the police brutality would have to go down first before the crime went down.
Right,
In my
because all police brutality is not based off of crime. Like, especially in LA, a black man can just be walking down the street and get hemmed up or beat up by the police just off the strength of being black.
So
We've
is it
seen
the
it.
strength of being black, or is it the strength of the criminality being high because you're black?
I think
No,
it's the strength of the criminality being high because you're black. I think
they're
people
from
have
That's what it
Chicago,
is. So it's
mama.
not just being
because,
black.
for example, it happened to me. I don't have a record. I've never did anything crazy in my life. I don't have no run-in with the police.
Mm-hmm.
I remember me and my two best friends was sitting outside our house in the car talking, and a police car went past us, and then they turned around, and the police, and it was a white police officer. He rolled down his window. He was like, "What are y'all doing?" And we looked. We were like, "We just in the car talking."
Exactly.
And he was like, "Why are you sitting in the car?" And we was like, we need that in a second. It was just like, what in the heck? And I didn't even think of it as we were doing nothing bad, but I think that because he has been in this situation so many times, he just automatically just like profiled us. Like,
Right.
we are
Yeah.
three females.
Like yesterday.
in the
Let me tell
car.
y'all, yesterday, I was doing Uber Eats shopping. I be doing shopping at Walgreens. And I had to buy somebody a box of condoms at 2 a.m. I walk out of the Walgreens. It was nobody in there. And I'm sitting in the car on the phone with my husband. A black police officer walks up to my car window and scared the hell out of me. I'm like, oh, I rolled the window down. He's like, did you pay for that? I'm like, yeah,
Yes, that is
pay for
racial
it. Like, I have a
profiling.
receipt right here. Get out my face. But in that instance, I'm like, I wonder why he accused me of stealing. Is it because of the law? What's going on with that? Is it because it's late at night or what?
So
Or is it because of
think about it. In what instance would you need to steal condoms? You out at 2 in the morning doing Uber, and if you imagine what people are doing at 2 in the morning if they need condoms,
Yep.
and they ain't got no money, they going to get condoms. And if you can just tuck it in your pocket, it's just a quick little run to the store. You can tuck it in your pocket. So people would probably be stealing condoms at that time.
And it's justified for him to be suspicious as a police officer because he's more than likely has seen people do that shit on a daily basis.
It's not
so I had
just a
two options.
one-off
I could have
thing.
gotten mad
I don't
and
think
accused him of profiling me, or I
don't
just
think
showed
that's
him.
justifiable as well. Yeah, I
that's
don't
not
think that's
justified because they teach you in the police academy. I took a police academy class. If you think something, you don't go off of what you think. Like, you have to actually physically see it, or you have to know it's happening, because we think a lot of stuff. I see people every day and I be like, you know what? I don't know, but you don't know. So that's just like, I don't think you can really go off that. That's not justified.
No, it wasn't justified, but the power was in my hands. I could have easily gotten upset with him and made a whole scene in the middle of the night in the parking lot if I wanted to. But instead, I'm just like, here. And if it was a white police officer who did the same thing, I could very well be like, are you racially profiling me? Did you just ask me that because I'm black? I could have a whole story, or I could just prove my innocence and keep it pushing. And that's what I want black people to realize. You do not.
I know, but we shouldn't have to always prove our innocence. Like,
you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
But people are not perfect.
We should, but again,
I agree with you. You could prove your innocence and just keep it going. But what if you having a bad day? What if you having a bad day?
Well,
everything
look,
is not.
the devil tests people all the time.
I could let my
You
bad
getting
day
tested.
get worse, or I could just let it be over.
I feel like that's
the power was in my hands.
I feel like the power is always in your hands.
Right.
It is. I agree. So that's why I just want people to realize that it's really simple. Like, you don't have to blame other people for what's going on. And I wasn't gonna accuse.
It's not that simple because your power is in your hands. It's been a lot of things where I've been like, you know what, I could have changed that whole course of action. But when you're in the moment of something, you don't
still have a choice.
You still got a choice.
Your thoughts don't go off like that.
Don't mean you get an excuse.
When does the excuse apply? I mean, I could have made the excuse. I'm tired as hell. This thing coming up to my car in the middle of the night, scaring me. That could have pissed me off. But I'm like, I'm not even gonna do that. Like, it's cold as hell outside.
It'd just be unfortunate.
I feel like that's just not like.
Okay, this person said it's different if he didn't see you doing anything suspicious just to accuse you of stealing.
His rationale for what he accused me doesn't really matter to me. I could have asked him, why would you come ask me that? But instead, I simply pulled my receipt out of the bag, showed it to him, and he kicked rocks. And
yes, you handled it well, and I agree with how you handled it, because I probably would have did the same thing, but that still doesn't justify the fact of him doing that to you for no reason.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
fair. It's not fair. I'm not gonna throw a fit about something somebody does.
You
I
don't
know.
have to throw a fit about it, but at the end of the day, if you okay with being harassed for no reason, that's your prerogative.
Mhm.
I'm not. If I'm minding my
Control what
business,
somebody else does.
why should I have to be harassed? Why can't I just walk down the street? I don't want to be talked to. I don't want to, feel like I'm being suspicious. If I'm just minding my own business. If I'm doing something incriminating, by all means, pull me over. But if I'm just minding my business, mind your business. Leave me
Mhm.
alone.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm
I
just
think-
sitting
I
in
think-
my car,
I think we
as
reached-
police officers, as security guards, is to make sure that shit is not getting stolen, to make sure that people are
but
safe.
what did
That's their business.
you do? What did you do?
I
Was you being sneaky?
No,
Were you being
he told me
suspicious?
that one of the staff members accused me and thought they didn't see me go to the front or something. I didn't do nothing, but like I said, I proved my innocence and kept it pushing.
Okay.
I didn't really
Look,
sit
this
there and
person
think about,
said
I didn't sit
two
there and
things.
ponder why would he possibly pick me? Is it because I'm black? I could have done that, but I didn't care that much. And if the dude was, like I said, it was a black police officer. If he was white, it would have been extremely easy for me to lament on the fact that he was white and he picked me out. Or are you profiling me because I'm black? But I don't have time for that. That's a waste of time, a waste of energy.
I think we reached a really crucial middle ground right here, because I'm seeing that we could either tweak with the officer for making a wrong, or we could respond with making a right.
Yeah,
So
like this
it's a
person
very
said right here.
fundamental middle ground. So it's like, where's your head at? So we think that we should just keep it pushing, and you guys are saying it shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Yeah.
You know who also, like,
I want to ask a question. Can I interrupt you if you don't mind?
Go ahead.
Have both of you guys, have you ever had any bad encounters with a police officer?
No. Well,
That's why.
That's
why.
I got detained by 2 Mexican police officers for having a cone in my car that I was not even smoking. They put handcuffs on me. That was the only time I ever had handcuffs put on me, and I was crying. Then they just let me go.
But still, that's not like, I've been with people who get every day harassed. And sometimes it's just that one day where it's like, you know what?
You allow somebody
shit.
else to control you.
No,
The
it's
one
not
day you decide to allow somebody else's
to
action to control you.
So we don't have a right to get tired of being tired.
You.
Anybody get tired of being harassed?
You
every
can
day?
do what you want, but
You can.
the consequences of your actions will tell. So you can either allow somebody to control you and let whatever they did to you change the progress of your day, or when the power is placed in your hands, you can take corrective action, make a positive choice, and keep it pushing.
But it's easier to say that when you're not in that situation.
I was in a situation yesterday.
But that's
Martin
not
Luther
how
King
okay,
did.
every single day.
If I showed my ass, I could have got arrested.
So what you
I could have showed my ass in front of that guy last night and got arrested if I wanted to. But
Go
I
ahead,
didn't.
Amanda.
So what you're saying is that if you make a positive choice to, I guess, ignore the situation, then it saves you, right? Is that what you're saying?
I kept it pushing.
Okay, so what about the people that when back in the day when they were racially profiled, are you
I don't want to talk about the past.
Wait,
I
are you putting in here and nothing?
You have
they
to
made a
talk
choice.
about the past. Why?
That's
if
what
you don't know where you came from,
that's what
you don't know where you're going.
But wait, listen though. I just want to bring up a point. When they, for instance, Rosa Parks, when she said that she was tired that day and she didn't want to get up, that was the law, to get up and give your seat. But she was tired that day and she said, I'm not doing it. So if she never would have did that.
Did you know the Rosa Parks situation was planned out?
I'm just saying it as an excuse.
It
doesn't have to do that situation. I'm just saying
she wasn't the first one who refused to give up her seat. We know. We
already know that.
We already know that.
But I'm
because
just
she
saying,
was a part of the NAACP. There were many people who refused to give up her seat way before her. And like I was saying, you guys don't want to talk about the past, but at the end of the day, if you don't know about the past, how
but
are you
I
do
know? We do know about the past.
We know.
We know.
But
every black person in this country knows.
Affecting us today, and y'all keep saying, "Oh, that was so long ago." It was so long ago. It wasn't that long ago.
So so you're telling me your course of action is to lament on the past indefinitely?
No.
Because when you don't stop looking at the past.
No, I'm never going to stop looking at the past. Never.
So what about?
I feel like we haven't. Me personally, I feel like we haven't.
So you are going to lament on it indefinitely.
We still
So because
Doing the
everybody
same
else,
shit
because
from back
everybody
then,
else
just a
ain't
different
learned from
time.
it, you gotta lament because everybody else ain't learned from it. Y'all gonna lament on it.
You never
Like
gonna be able to
everybody
teach
else is not,
everybody. Everybody
and
don't want to
everybody's
learn.
not gonna get it together.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Okay.
Oh,
Everybody's not gonna get it together.
Sorry. I didn't know she was that loud. Okay, so the question at hand is, when are we gonna stop dwelling on the past?
When are we gonna? So we are never gonna stop dwelling on the past.
And why is that?
Because the past is relevant. To stop dwelling in, that's like erasing your history.
Mm-hmm.
Not
You know,
erasing.
I'm not saying it.
never. It's just like,
Okay, so basically they're saying, how is the past relevant to today? Is
No,
that what you guys are saying?
that's not the question.
Okay, what's the question? Hold on.
The question
That's
is,
the question.
I got two. Would you agree that every black person and a lot of people in America know about the history of America?
No.
Is it safe to say
no,
they teach it in
don't.
school? They
Who teach it in
literally
school?
teach it in school.
Who teaches in school?
In Black History Month,
Do they know
the schools teach you.
Black history?
No,
And if
they
you
don't.
go to it, they don't teach. They didn't teach y'all any history in school.
Not the correct history.
Not my black history.
Did you know? Did you learn about Martin Luther King
That's
in school?
it.
Did you? No, I'm naming stuff up. Did you learn about Martin Luther King in school?
I learned about Martin Luther King.
Did you learn about Rosa Parks in school?
Yep.
Did you learn about
Of course.
Nelson Mandela in school?
Nope.
You didn't?
Nope, I didn't.
Okay. Did you did you? We know about
We
Malcolm
learned
X.
the watered down black history.
We know, but we know that was the past. So we're aware of it. You can look into it if you want to and get more research. Like, wow, that was amazing. But it's like, okay, what am I going to do with the information? Am I going to complain about what's going on today, or I'm just going to be cautious of the fact that, hey, this is happening. Let's make sure we don't go there again.
Okay, so what's the question?
The question. I'm sorry. The question is, we already know the past. Everybody knows the history. Whether it's a little bit of history, but we know about the struggle.
Everybody knows.
Hold on, Mama. Okay, go ahead.
Do not know the past because right in front of us, they are erasing our history. They're now allowing Black history to be taught in the schools. When they sit up here and they think it's something, when they take down these statues of these Robert E. Lee and Andrew Jackson, and taking this is erasing the history where it'll be a time will to come, like they're going to be talking about we were indigenous workers in America when we were, slaves in America, and that's something that should go through generation after generation. You're just not on the bottom of society for no reason. You came in here, you came to America in the belly of the ship, and it must never be forgotten. No. I'm tired of making white people comfortable to erase my history like it didn't exist because you're uncomfortable. No. Nah.
And most
What do you mean by
people-
white people are uncomfortable?
Most people don't. Most black people don't know their history.
They don't.
Do they know
don't.
their American history at all?
I don't.
What you say?
They don't know anything about the American blacks?
No, most black people are not educated on black history. Like you said, they teach you about Martin Luther King. They teach you about Rosa Parks. And honestly, Martin Luther King was the worst thing that happened to black people. Honestly.
All right, Darrell, did you hear? She said she's for segregation. I don't know if you heard that part.
Right.
Should we be segregated or separate but equal?
Oh yeah, I discussed that already.
Okay, so if we would have been separate. So what about so in Chicago, we are segregated.
Can you talk a little louder because you sound kind of low?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Come to the speaker.
So in Chicago, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, in Chicago, we are segregated, and we this is modern day segregation. So if we segregate, if we separate, what will have to happen for us to be equal? Like, so the white people are, they're the oppressors, right? Because their communities are better, they got more positions of power and stuff like that. So why don't we just do what they did? Why don't we just invest back in our own community?
We did that
And
already. They bombed us.
is anybody
They
doing
rebuilt Tulsa.
They rebuilt Tulsa. And
Okay,
was
but
not
they
the same.
still bombed them, and those
Yeah,
people
Okay,
never
but they
got
how
rebuilt
do
paid.
we
No,
how do we know
notice
it's
how
not the
with them,
same? None of us was
when they
there.
had the Tulsa thing,
They still
instead
waiting to
of
get paid. They
lamenting
trying to
on the fact that they
they
stuff
trying to wait that
got
one lady
bombed,
out.
they rebuilt it.
She 100 and some change.
Yeah, it was never the same after that. A lot of the families moved away. Like, yeah, they rebuilt it. How you gonna? That's just like
Okay,
breadcrumbs.
Okay,
just
so
because
You
why
they
gonna
rebuilt
rebuild
it,
so
something
why is
after
our
you tear it
community
up?
Why y'all
why
keep
is our
talking about
community
it if it got rebuilt?
right? So why is our community so
Because
bad
it wasn't the
today?
same. It should have never got tore down. That's
I
the whole
mean,
point.
Right, it's
it
always
happened.
it should have never happened. See,
Yeah,
shoulda.
but it
You
happened.
can't do nothing about the past.
Yes, you can. It could change the
What can you do?
future.
How can you change the past?
You can change the future. It's how you have to look at
Yeah,
the
you
past
can
in order to
change
change.
the future.
I agree with that. I said,
Yeah,
how
you
can you
can.
change the
You
past?
I
you
said you
can't
can
change the past.
past,
So
but you
why
have to
you
look
keep
at
bringing
the
it up?
past
But you
in order
must
to
know
change
your
the future.
past to change
We do
your
We
know.
know the
We know.
past.
She
No,
said you must know your past to change the future.
we know
We
the
do know
past.
the past,
But there's no
I
but
wish
we're
point in
still.
bringing up
a lot of people
Tulsa,
don't
talking
How
know.
about people had to move.
is
It
it
wasn't
no
the same.
point
It
in
should have
bringing it
never. It
up?
should have never got bombed. It did.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who dealt with that, they decided, hey, we're not
That's
going to sit
true.
here and be upset about Tulsa indefinitely and keep
Actually,
talking
they're
about what
still
they did to
fighting
us.
for it
We're going to take
today.
action
It's
to
still one
rebuild.
living person that's still trying to get paid from that
I'm
to
sure
this day.
there's
Even the
always going to be people who
comments.
want to lament and who want something from something that didn't even happen to them.
No, it happened to her. What is she? 100 and what? 103. She's the last living person of the Tulsa massacre. She's
And so what
still
happened
trying
with
to
her?
get paid.
Does she know it got rebuilt?
She
She lives there?
Who would want to go back?
It got rebuilt,
Why
but it
not? It's
wasn't
ours.
rebuilt for black people. They
And who got
integrated it.
who
When
said
we
it's ours?
had Black Wall Street,
It
it
was
was
ours
all
before
black.
it got bombed. The people who were initially invested in it decided they wanted to go back and rebuild it. It was still theirs.
No, it
No.
wasn't.
No, it
That
wasn't.
did not
So who
happen
rebuilt
like
it?
that, honey.
Who
It
rebuilt
did
it?
not
No.
happen like
Who
that.
rebuilt it?
White
White
people
people came and did it.
rebuilt
to
it.
the ground.
Even this comment when it said many Tulsa families lost their inheritance, their insurance wasn't
Insurance.
honored. So
They
I'm
it's
asking
still
who
fighting for that
rebuilt it?
today.
Who took the steps to rebuilding Black Wall Street?
What did they do? They made like a railroad. It wasn't black people. Those black
So you
people
said
who
no
originally,
black people who were involved in Tulsa
those
came
black
back and rebuilt
people
their stuff.
who originally lost their businesses in Tulsa, Oklahoma,
they
never
moved
got
away.
their
They
money
never
back.
came back.
You know that for a fact.
They
Yes.
were living in tent. Yes.
They never came back.
Look it up.
They never came back. Where the tablet at?
Look up Tulsa.
I am.
They were living in a big ass field. They never got their money.
We
Like that
gotta look it
lady.
up.
How old is she today? 100 and what? Is she still trying to get her money? One
It's
already died. They trying to wait her out.
62% white, 57.9% non-Hispanic white, and no, yeah, 15.6% African American,
Why you must know
5%
your
Native
history.
American. So
This
it's
is why you must talk about the past.
Mm-hmm.
This is why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is exactly why.
Like, unfortunately, many of the families were displaced permanently.
Yes, they were.
Who would
They
want to
never went
go
back.
back to that?
People went back. It was rebuilt.
It wasn't
It was
the
not.
same.
It was, but I didn't say it was
Not
the
the
same, but it was
same.
rebuilt.
It wasn't
matter.
rebuilt for black people.
You can rebuild something.
So
It could
what?
be
So
a
you
corrective
telling me
system.
Black Wall Street? So you telling me black people can't go there or something? What do you mean it wasn't rebuilt for? What do you mean it wasn't rebuilt for black people? What do
you
you
know
mean
what
by that?
Black Wall Street was before
What do you mean
they
it wasn't
bombed
built for
it?
white people? Black people.
No, I'm
What do
saying,
you mean by that?
do you know what it was before they bombed it? Okay,
Well, what
so
do you
when
mean
they
it wasn't
rebuilt
built
it,
for black people? Black people cannot come establish businesses
we can
there.
rebuild
Can
it.
black people come establish
They
businesses there? Yes or no?
didn't have the money to
So you saying-
rebuild it
And
because
it's no
they
black
never
people who
paid
have
them.
money today to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and invest in Black Wall Street.
I understand what you're saying.
I'm asking a question. Nobody's answering.
No, I said, yeah, they do. But that's why the past is important, because when stuff like that happens, nobody wants to go and relive that trauma again. That's like if my house burned down and somebody built it, my house and my family, my house and my family burned down, got killed, and somebody built up my house and said, here.
Okay.
I'm not going back. For
I mean,
what?
that's you. If my house got burnt down, my family got destroyed, and I got a new house in
Gonna go back.
My family would want me to be happy and warm in this new shelter. I would not.
No, I don't believe that.
That
I
doesn't
don't
make
believe
sense.
that.
Well,
I don't believe
I
that.
guess we'll have to wait and see if that happens.
That
Hopefully
those
it does.
families
Hopefully
win
it don't.
they can go back.
That's not nothing nobody.
But I don't see why you would lament on the past indefinitely. Bad shit's gonna happen to you, but you can't sit back and be depressed
Not
about
bad
it
shit like that.
forever.
Nobody is being depressed on what happened in the past. At the end of the day, it happened, and we not finna forget it.
I didn't say forget.
We're not gonna forget.
I didn't say forget. I said don't lament. It's very different.
Nobody is omitting to it, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna give white people a pass for what they did to my people.
You don't even know what white is. We've already established that. You don't know the definition of white. You say white people are from Europe. I asked you about Elon Musk. I asked you, is Elon Musk an African American? He's a white man that was born in Africa who currently lives in America.
They all white.
And
Mama,
what?
is
he
people?
white or not?
Right. So
what
it's
is
a
white
skin
people?
color thing.
What is white people?
Is Elon Musk white?
What you mean?
Because he's not from Europe.
Esau?
Yeah. What is Esau?
Or is he African American?
Red?
No. What do you consider white people?
The devil?
Mama, we on live.
That's racist. That's racist. If I had a white person on here who said he considers black people the devil, y'all would all be upset.
I mean, no, you can't be upset. It's just she lived in a totally different generation than we did.
But
that's
nonetheless, if a white
it's
person said that black people were the devil, there would be an issue. And we know this. So
no,
devil
don't mean
nothing but the
so you'll be okay. You'll be okay if a white if Trump
devil.
okay,
I'm the devil. I think you the devil too. Stay away from you.
Devil means deceiver. And white people are deceivers because that's what their history is.
All white people. So you know every white person.
Not all white people.
All white people.
Yeah, that's racist.
I'm not saying all white people.
I am.
But
I'm prejudiced.
That's right.
Have all white
and look,
people
I'm getting
benefit?
tired. It's been 2 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up tonight. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. I do. And I hope y'all have a great night. All right?
Mm-hmm.